You did everything right. You went to school, you got the job, you saved money. Maybe you've even got $50,000 sitting in your bank account right now. And yet, for some reason, it doesn't feel like enough. In fact, it feels like nothing. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody's going to tell you at your office or your family dinner. You are playing a game designed for you to lose. Not because you're bad with money, not because you didn't work hard enough, but because the rules of money changed and nobody updated the playbook. In 2026, $300,000 in net worth puts you in the top 40% of Americans under 40. You'd think that sounds comfortable, but after taxes, inflation, housing costs, and what I'm going to call the invisible fees baked into everyday life, that $300K can feel exactly like zero. Today, I'm going to take big finance, sovereign wealth funds, compound erosion, opportunity cost math, and draw it small. So small a 5-year-old could understand it. Because the people who get rich aren't smarter than you. They just learned a different set of rules. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes, because by the end, you're going to see your money and your future completely differently. For decades, the advice was simple. Work hard, save 10%, buy a house, and retire at 65. And for a while, in a world of 3% inflation and stable housing, that math actually worked. It doesn't work anymore. Now, here's what changed. The cost of being alive accelerated, but the advice didn't. And so millions of people are following a 1985 financial map in a 2026 world and wondering why they keep ending up somewhere they didn't intend to go. Let me show you what I call the 3 silent thieves of 2026 wealth. Money secret, silent thief number 1. Inflation compounding. At 4% annual inflation, $50,000 today is worth $33,000 in purchasing power in just 10 years. Your savings balance stays the same. What it buys quietly disappears. Here's silent thief number 2. And this one lives inside your bank account right now. The high yield illusion. Your savings account paying 4.5% APY sounds great until you realize real inflation is eating 4 to 5% simultaneously. You're running on a treadmill, moving fast, going nowhere. Now, and silent thief number 3 is the sneakiest one of all. I call it the friendship tax. The friendship tax is every financial decision you made not because it was smart, but because everyone around you was doing it. The group vacation, the wedding gift that was way too much, the round of drinks you bought because everyone else was buying rounds. Research shows social spending accounts for up to 15 to 20% of discretionary income for people in their 20s and 30s. That's not money you wasted. That's money you paid in social dues to feel like you belonged. All right, this is where we get into the hidden math. And I need you to pay close attention here, because this is the stuff they absolutely did not teach you in school. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2026. You just got a raise. You're feeling good. You walk into a dealership and you drive out in a brand new truck. $72,000, financed at 7.9% over 72 months. Monthly payment? About $1,250. Feels manageable, right? You can cover it. Here is what that truck actually costs you. Not $72,000, not even $85,000 with interest. The real number, when you account for what that $1,250 a month could have been doing in an S&P 500 index fund over 30 years at a historical average of 10%, the truck doesn't cost $72,000. The truck costs you $2.8 million in future wealth. Now, I'm not saying don't ever buy a car. I'm saying most people buy the truck and never run this math. The average American looks at the monthly payment. The smart investor looks at the 30-year cost. And here's where it gets even more interesting, because the truck is just one example. This same hidden math applies to your cable bundle, your gym membership you don't use, your subscriptions you forgot about, and what I call the singles tax. These aren't judgments, they're math. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let me explain something using the simplest possible analogy. Imagine wealth like a ladder. In 1990, the first rung of the ladder, the point where your money started actually working for you, was around $25,000. That got you a small emergency fund, a used car, and a down payment path. In 2026, that first rung, it's at $100,000. Because rent is higher, because healthcare costs have tripled, because childcare alone can run $2,500 a month in major cities. $50,000 in savings used to feel like financial security. In 2026, it's roughly 12 months of basic living expenses in most mid-sized cities. One medical emergency, one job loss, one major car repair, and it's gone. That's not pessimism, that's the math of where the rungs are now. Here's what that means in real terms. If your basic expenses are $4,000 a month, pretty average for a mid-tier city, your freedom number is a portfolio generating $48,000 a year passively at a 4% safe withdrawal rate. That requires $1.2 million invested. That's not a millionaire's dream. That's a math problem with a specific answer. And here's the good news. The path to that number is less complicated than the finance industry wants you to believe. All right, this is the part of the video where I give you the actual playbook. No hype, no buy this course, just the unsexy, math-backed truth. It's called the gap strategy, and it is, without exaggeration, the single most important financial concept most people never learn. The gap is simple: the difference between what you earn and what you spend. The width of that gap every single month determines your wealth trajectory. Not your salary, not your investment returns, not your stock picks. The gap. Here's how the average American manages their gap. Every time income goes up, lifestyle goes up to match it. Got a raise, nicer apartment. Got a bonus, new car. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the reason most high-income earners are one bad month away from financial crisis. Now here's where the shadow portfolio comes in. This is the second piece of the framework, and it's specifically for people who have a day job. Most people think investing means picking stocks or timing the market, but for 90% of people, the best investment they can make is in their own earning power at work, what I call getting rich at work before getting rich from investing. That means negotiating your salary every 18 to 24 months, taking on visible projects, building skills that compound. Because a $15,000 raise invested every year for 20 years in an index fund, that's over $900,000 in additional retirement wealth. Your shadow portfolio is the money you earn before you earn it, by becoming more valuable than your current salary reflects. Here's the part nobody talks about. Because it doesn't happen immediately, and we live in a world of instant everything. But there is a moment, a specific, real mathematical moment, when your money starts making more money than your job does. Investors call it the crossover point. I like to call it the snowball moment. Here's what the math looks like at the snowball moment. You've invested $500 a month for 15 years. Your portfolio is around $200,000. At 10% annual return, your money is now generating $20,000 a year passively. That's $1,667 a month in passive income from doing nothing. At that point, your money is working a part-time job for you for free every month, and the snowball keeps growing. Now here's the closing thought I want to leave you with. The invisible prison isn't made of bars. It's made of habits, monthly payments, lifestyle inflation, social spending, and the quiet belief that you're too late or don't earn enough or that this is for other people. It is not for other people. The gap strategy works on a $45,000 salary and a $450,000 salary. The snowball effect doesn't care about your zip code or your degree. It only cares about one thing. Did you start? $50,000 feels like nothing in 2026 because the rules changed. But the math still works in your favor the moment you decide to use it. If this video helped you see your money differently, share it with one person you care about, because the best time to learn this was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. See you in the next one.